Okay. So guys, we are starting with the regular expressions. So we have seen the four loops yet. So the basics of the four loops. So this will be available in the Jupyter notebook. Okay. So these regular expressions, when I say regular expressions are nothing but uh, the functions that are basically used majorly when we are working on a text data. So when with the text data, it is basically known as a natural language processing. So text mining. So let's example, we have a process in which a thing that we are doing is a process in which people send emails. When the email is being received, there is a team which categorizes these emails into people, process, system, or say uh, let's say these are three buckets which these people have made, which helps us to identify which email is related to which of the problem. So now in this problem that we have, in this thing that we have been doing, it's all the manual process. But we want text mining in which the system identifies any word which is related to person, people, or whatever. It is being categorized as into that category automatically. So there, this NLP text mining will come into consideration, where we'll pass some of the emails as a learning to the system, and then system will auto categorizing these emails. This is done using the text NLP. But when we do NLP, it is not only the learning or predictive part, learning on the past and applying on the new data. Rather, it uses the regular expressions to do some custom coding. So I'll take it through an example. So custom coding is whenever, let's example, you need to
Sir,
find, yeah.
sir, what do you mean when you say that words are emails are described in groups? Like what groups, sir?
So let's example, an email is coming to you, and what you have been doing, you are handling a team, which every email, if it is coming, you are reading that email and you are identifying, like this is a customer problem emails that are coming, and you're identifying whether this email is because of the process is not defined. Let's example, we are working in a Pizza Hut. Every time we are delivering pizzas, so every time customer writes a feedback. Some customer says pizza was good, but it took uh, a time to get delivered. Second customer says the pizza is not tasty. Third person says pizza is was not hot when it got delivered. That's example. These are the things that are. So the task is to bifurcate or group these comments or emails into different buckets. One is process. Process is it is not delivered on time. This is the fault of a process. Second is agent. The pizza man who came was not wearing mask. So it was an agent problem. The third is when the pizza got delivered, it was not hot. So it again goes to process, because the process in which the pizza is made and the process on which the pizza is being delivered was not fine. So what we have been doing, we have been categorizing these emails into different buckets. So this was the work that we have been doing manually. Now the machine has the capability to read the comments, to learn the comments, and provide you this bucket, or put this email into a bucket automatically. This is the thing which I've been trying to say. Is it clear
Okay.
now?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, just give me a second, guys. Let me put the charger to my laptop. Just give me a second. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll get a charger and Sorry guys, I was not finding the charger. Okay. So I was telling about the regular expression. So now when we have been working on this kind of a machine learning problem, this kind of a natural language problem. So what we usually get, we get emails. So machine has a capability to learn. So let's example, the accuracy is not going. Yeah.
Have you studied machine learning or are you still in this Python only?
No, it's Python only. I have been just setting a context for the regular expression which I have been telling you how, uh, where basically they are used.
Okay, sir.
So now let's example a machine has started working and now learning rather, and machine is giving you some output and the accuracy is not going beyond say 80-85%. So now, but you need to improve the accuracy to 90 to any other percentage which you want. Then you do the custom code. So let's example, I'll take an example. Let's example, you have a target that you need to measure the weight of apples. Let's example, every time the apple comes to your house, you are measuring the weight. The machine which you're using, the balance which you're using does not have capability to segregate in grams. So it will either give you 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg. And you have ordered the apples that are say, or the machine has the capability to give you the weights in the multiple of 500 grams. Say 500 grams, 1000, 1500, 2000. These are the grams which the machine has the capability. Now, when you have ordered the apples and the apple came to you, you have ordered the apples, say 1 kg and 600 grams. That's example. Now, when you're weighing it, it says 1 kg 500 grams. Now, these are the apples which are of 1 kg 600 700 grams. So now what you will do, you will take one apple out and then you measure the weight. Okay, so what you are doing, apart from the machine, whatever machine is doing, you are applying your own intelligence because of the restricted capability of the machine. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So regular expressions are nothing but some kind of manual work that we do along with the natural language processing to process some of the text. So I'll give you the context of it. So I'll say whenever we work on regular expressions, it comes into form of a package in Python. That package is known as RE. RE means the regular expressions. When I say RE, so whenever we start working on regular expressions, first we'll say import RE. So this means I am importing regular expressions from Python. I'll say shift enter. So the RE is the thing that has been, yeah.
Sir, when we have removed one apple from the bucket and the weight was shown, sir, how the intelligence is being used, sir? I'm not getting. I'm not able
Now the apples that you have are 1 kg 700 grams, but your machine has a capability to weigh 1 kg 500 gram. Okay.
Okay.
When it gives to more than 500, then when it reaches 2 kilogram, then only it will weigh 2 kilogram. Now, just to check whether the machine is giving you the accurate weight, you will take one apple out. If the machine is still weighing 1 kg 500 gram, you will say it is somewhere greater than 1 kg 500 gram. Is it that this is the normal thing that we do?
Please again, sir. No, please again, sir.
So let's example, the machine has a capability to weigh the apples 1 kg, 1 kg 500 gram, 2 kg. So in multiple of 500 grams. So when you have ordered some apples and apple came, you put it in the weighing machine and it says 1 kg 500 grams. What will be your next course of action? Will you assume that the weight of the apple is 1 kg 500 gram only, or you will do, considering your restriction of your machine, considering the loopholes of your machine, that your machine won't be able to measure anything in less than 500 gram, you will try to remove one apple. You will say this can be 1 kg 700 800 grams, So let me see if it is greater than 1 and 500 gram or it's actually 1 and 1 kg 500 gram. Am I right?
Okay.
So, so apart from the capability of a machine, so whenever you work on natural language processing using the machine's capability, it has a limited capability to process the text. Then you have to do some things manually. This manual work in Python is known as regular expressions when it comes to working with text. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So when we say RE, so RE has basically a capability. First is,
Sir, is this only for text?
yeah,
Or
it's major.
even for normal?
It's majorly for text.
Okay.
So that's mean the things which cannot be done by NLTK we do with a regular expression, right?
Yeah. So some of the things. So let's example, you're working on NLTK. When I go with NLTK, so we have certain things like pose tagging, part of speech tagging, and so let's example, you have a problem in which you need to you need to fetch the name of the people from resume. Okay. So you have a bulk of repository in which you need to fetch the name of the people. So the name of the person is Javed Kumar and a surname. Say Javed Kumar Jangra. Let's example. Now the thing it is fetching is it is fetching name, and everywhere it is written name, Javed name, and the text is like this. So just give me a second. So let's example. Okay. If I'll say everywhere it is written name, and the name is being written, whatever the name is. Every time in a document it is, some of the time you find name and the person failed to put this colon and he has written like this. Sometime it is name and person has written its name. So these type of errors are pretty much common when we write text. So when you train a machine that using a NLTK, the machine has to find the names from the resumes. So machine will give you this name, let's example, this name for this example. Whenever the machine gives you this name, let's example, the machine is also giving you the word name as well. Let's example, I'm just taking a scenario, and in this scenario it is giving you the context like name and like this. So now you will use regular expression that wherever name is there, the word name is there, it won't be considered. Only the text apart from name should be there. So this can be done using the regular expressions. Are you with me?
Yes.
So
So
this
for,
NLTK is doing that, or we are doing this name?
no, NLTK has a standard format. When I say NLTK has a standard. Okay, let me tell you about machine like this NLP. This NLP is, yeah,
Yes.
NLP is basically a separate topic which we will be covering when we will be going on the text mining problem. Okay, so text mining problem, or basically when we are working on an artificial intelligence kind of algorithm, a deep learning kind of a thing, then NLP is one of the topics. But let me tell you what is, yeah.
NLTK is a library or some kind of a function. So what is NLTK?
NLTK is like Pandas is a library. In a
Yes.
similar way, NLTK is a library. The
Okay.
capability of NLTK is to just to process the text.
Okay.
Just after this, I will tell you each and everything in detail, because tomorrow your machine learning will be starting. So I will be telling each and everything in very much detail. Okay. Okay. So don't worry, just be with me. I'll tell you each and every library in detail to all of you. Okay. So the thing is, if I'll say import RE, so just be with me for just 5 minutes, then it will be clear. So first is re.match. So I'm just covering few of the basic things, but these are available very much in detail. So, but I'm covering the basics of it. So just be with me, and I will then spare some time to tell you about detail of machine learning, because from tomorrow onward machine learning will start. I'll say re.match. So it has a capability to find the string if it occurs in the beginning. So I'll say uh, RE. So I'll say ABC is equal to RE dot match. So I'll find a text. Say this. I'll say uh, India is the best. Let's example. I'll say, and I'll say what I need to find. India. I normally, whenever we use string, we use R in beginning of it. I'll tell you why. I'll say shift enter. Now if I'll say ABC, it will say it has matched the object from 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is not included. So it has find the object from 0 to 4. If I'll say print ABC, if I say print ABC, or if I'll simply say ABC, it will give you that value only. But if I'll say, so now in this case, now it has matched, it has find some of the values in the beginning 0 to 5. If I'll simply say we live in India, if I'll say ABC, then it will not give you any, or say print ABC, it will not give you any input. So whenever we need to find anything in the beginning of the text, then normally it is, we use re.match. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
So now,
Sir, can you repeat once again?
Yes, sir.
so let's example, whenever we need to find anything, so let's example, you need to check, say if you have provided, so I'll take an example. Let's example, you have given a task that whenever you're getting the resumes from different countries, but there's a mandate that you have made is, you have asked the team that the team needs to write on in the beginning of the resume the country of origination. So if a resume is coming from India, the team will write India in the beginning. If it is coming from US, the team will write US. If it is coming from Philippines, team will say Philippines, or a number of things. Okay, this is the process which you have made. Now you need to identify the resumes or the text which are from India. So as you're aware that anything that comes from India or any country has a country name in beginning. So if you need to check if a particular resume or a group of resumes that are coming from or originated from India, which means everywhere India will be written in the beginning. So you will say re.match and you will say India, and all the text where India is written as a first thing will come with this code. Are you guys with me?
Sir, the output is not clear, sir. Print ABC is giving what is
So ABC, okay, ABC is saying the text that you're trying to find is starting from 0 and ending at 5, which means the text is available in the beginning. If the text is not available, it is saying none. Okay, let me retell you. I'll say it will give you India. Okay, in this scenario, it will say no, none, because India is not in the beginning. Is this fine with you?
Okay.
So when I say group, so what do we mean by group? So when we say India, when I said, so the thing that should be noticed here is when we say India in the beginning, it originated from a country called India. Then what will happen is it will basically find you the documents that are starting with India. So that is either it will give you the output in 0 to 5 or the country itself, or none. You only need to identify whether it is India or not. Is the thing that you can identify with the help of re.match. With me?
So, but
Okay, can you show
you
these?
have attribute error. So,
Which means if I'll say ABC, now if I made this ABC and if I'll say ABC, because the output is none. So it is saying none type object has no attribute group. Are you guys with me?
no, sir.
So now the thing is, when I used we live in India, I simply say I'll not use group. I'll use this
Okay.
and I'll say ABC. If I'll say print ABC, it will say none. Okay.
Why is that?
Because India is not at the beginning of the string. So re.match only works when you are the text you are finding is in the beginning of the string.
Okay.
Sir, can you
Mhm.
please show the output of that, where we were getting the match? Yes, more, little bit up more.
Do you want me to go up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, this one, line 17, sir. So there it is written match equals India. So that means that we are successfully able to find the
Yes.
match, or
Yeah. Yeah. So
what it is showing, I'm not able to get.
yeah, before going to that, it says the string that you're finding starts at the 0th position of the string. 0th position is this.
Okay.
If I'll say, okay, okay, if I'll say A 0, it is a I. So 0th position is I, and 4th position is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is A. So it is saying the fifth, the last number is not inclusive. So it says it starts at 0th number and till 5, which means to 4 it will go, and it has found India there, and the match is India.
Okay. So, sir, it means that only when we have one line of a text, like we cannot
No, no,
put.
no, 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 no. You can write like 10 lines, a paragraph as
Okay, yes, well, after if a paragraph starts with India, the output will be this match
yeah.
equals to India.
So it is, if your text is starting with a thing that we are trying to find, then re.match.
Okay. And sir, if we have multiple paragraphs, like the example you were saying, where we have letters coming from India and various countries, so this letter, all the letters, text also will be coming between the these double quoted forms, or it has
No,
another
no. The
format.
thing is, no. We have another format where we learn
Okay.
NLTK. So we have space removal. We have many things like stop word removal, space removal, white space removal, and number of things we have. So all the spaces will be removed when we work on this thing. So I'll tell you. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So the thing
So,
is right now, yeah.
so sir, it means that the re.match we use only when we have to check one particular string, whether it starts with India
Yeah,
of that
when
particular
we need
string.
to check if a string is starting with a particular word or
Okay, okay, okay.
Also, can
So,
we variable on the match if we store string in some variable and then we can pass in that function match. So whether it will work similarly.
yeah, you can say that.
Mm.
Okay. Why we
So,
have to write that R every time, sir?
So it's basically the identification of the strings. So you can, if I can remove this R, so this is basically, it basically tells the system that it is a string. You can remove that as well, but it's a good practice to write it.
sir, can we also search the string partially, like
Yeah. I'm coming to that.
because
So the thing is, second is,
Sir, does
Yeah.
it checks the one line of the paragraph or the starting of the line?
no, if you
Like
want
we
to,
have
if
have
you-
multiple lines started with India in a paragraph. So does it take this or not?
So the thing is, this particular thing will take only the initial context. RE.match.
Initial means the initiation of paragraph.
The
Right.
first word of the line only.
Suppose we have multiple lines started with India. So
Yeah,
what,
the only
what
the
will
first
be the
line,
answer?
only the first line
Okay.
with the, if the document is starting with this or no, is the thing.
Okay.
So can we pass complete sentence for matching?
So you say, like this.
Yeah.
Second is, so basically, let me tell you guys. So in case you are expecting a particular kind of a scenario, then this RE is available in major of the scenarios. The thing is, it has n number of tasks that help you to perform. If you'll go over net and you'll say RE, it will give you n number of things. So if I'll say RE dot, say okay, you see all of these are the functions. Okay, even more than that, if I'll say dot debug, so see it has, every function has some other number of functions as well. So the guys, the thing is, whenever you need any of the function, just search it over the net and you will be able to find. Majorly the functions are available for RE. So I'm just telling you some of the basic functions. Okay, search. So it is like match only, but we can find anywhere in the string. So let me tell you, if I'll say, we'll take same example. If I'll use this RE.match, I use RE.search. Let's just shift enter. So it says it has find from 11th position to 16th. Now I will change this string and I'll say now also it is saying 11 to 16. So this search is basically used when you say this word has been used in the sentence or not, either for one time, two time, or multiple times.
sir.
Yeah.
So I had one doubt. Like the result we are getting in the end, the match object. So is it the same object for all of the regular expression functions?
majorly.
So because we didn't needed the span for the read dot match, right?
No, we got it for match span as well.
So but what is the significance? Like if we already know the string and we are already searching it from the beginning, so the initial point must be 0 and the length, the second point must be the length of the string.
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, you're right. So, but this RE dot match can be further modified with n number of scenarios which you will be going through.
Mhm.
So this will have the context W plus D plus n number of things. So this has a purpose. You are right. If it is starting from 0, so it will be 0 only, and the length will be the length of the string that we are passing. You're right. But thing is, when we modify it with n number of things that we will be learning further, then this thing will be a convenient point to us.
Okay.
So are I say? Okay. Anybody any doubt?
So whether this string tracing is case sensitive or not?
No. So let me. Yeah, very good question. So let me try it. So I don't think it is. So if I'll say. No, it is not. For this,
Okay.
we have basically the functions that convert. So initially, okay, just after this, just I'll wrap it up and I'll tell you some important things about the text mining, that why it is of no relevance. Because whenever we work on a text mining problem, NLTK problem, so there are certain steps that we take. A is basically text cleaning, text pre-processing, which covers text lowercase, removing numbers, removing punctuations, removing white spaces, stemming, limit. I'll tell you each and everything. Don't worry. Just be with me for just next 15-20 minutes. Then I'll cover that. Okay.
Sir, RE and NLTK are same?
RE and
NLTK are same?
No. They're totally different.
Okay.
The machine that you have is totally different than the manual effort that you take. RE is a kind of a manual regular expression finding that you have been doing.
So what is the span 11,16?
Span is basically from where this India is starting in this text. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is starting from the number 11th.
Sir, okay, yeah, got it.
So I'll say next is okay. Find all. So finds all occurrences in list. So let me tell you. So I'll say sorry, I need to say I. Say. So now it is not giving you this thing, but it is giving you all the output. So this particular thing is basically there whenever you're getting a single kind of a word as output. When it comes to more than one, then it gives you the actual output and the number of times it has been iterated. I'll say give you two times it has occurred. With me?
Yes, sir. So can we also get the occurrence, like the coordinates where did it occur?
Like where the India is there?
Yes. What was the initial points for both of them? Can we
So
get
like
the
this only
information?
11, 16?
Yeah, like only 11 for both of them. Like where did both of them start?
Yeah. So they will definitely be a function. I can go and I can find it. So every time we have function, I'll say getting position of text in re dot find all in Python. Definitely. So in RE, everything is basically a workaround. It's search, you say span, so you're getting, but here we're saying find all. Yeah, here it is. So you need to write certain things, BW, so you first need to understand, but everything is feasible. You have to do your custom coding. So everything is a workaround here. Is the thing which I want to tell you,
Mhm.
how you want
Okay,
to
sir.
get it. Okay.
Mhm.
So now, so here everything is possible. The only thing is how good you're aware about the concepts like WB. W basically stands for all numbers and digits. D stands for digits. So all these things, there are certain things in RE. So for this RE, so let me tell you where this RE is used. RE is used whenever you work on text extraction from PDF. So this is one of the very renowned thing that has been going. So let's example, you're working on any of the problem, and the problem that has been given to you is, let's example, do you know what is text extraction? So what is basically, I'm not getting the name. Just give me a second.
So the OCR converter or something.
Not OCR. So whenever we get multiple documents from internet through Python, so we call it so let me, I'm not getting the right word. Web scraping. Web scraping. So whenever we do web, so this is one of the very renowned kind of a thing that is going in the market right now, is web scraping. So the thing is, now let's example, a company wants to process. Company has, so now the company which I've been working on, let's example, it's a tour and travel company. So I'm giving a package like go to say Sri Lanka with amount of say 1 lakh per pax. Let's example. Now I want to see which of the other company is giving the offer to go to Sri Lanka. Let's say, so what will be the solution? So the thing is, I'll use the web scraping. Web scraping is very much renowned in the world of Python, because what we do, we scrape the entire internet using Python. It's totally a different field. We use a library called Beautiful Soup to scrape the text from internet. Once we scrape the text from internet, so this line is known as web scraping Python automation. So this is not related to machine learning or AI. This is related to web scraping. So what we do, with the help of Beautiful Soup in Python, we develop an engine. With the help of this, what we can do, we can scrape n number of documents from internet for any of the tour and travel companies. So wherever tour and travel is mentioned over the internet, it will scrape that document and take it out in a form of PDFs. Now you need to find Sri Lanka in it. What you do, you use this regex and you find all Sri Lanka, and it will give you the document where the Sri Lanka is mentioned. Or you can say re.search Sri Lanka. Anywhere Sri Lanka is mentioned, or re.find all Sri Lanka is there, you will find that out. So this is the way how these companies are working right now in the today's world. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
So it is being, sir, it will be covered into this syllabus, web
No, no,
scraping?
no, no, no. So this is no, web scraping is not, but it's pretty much simple. The thing is, the subject, the thing on which we have been working on, it is basically machine learning and AI. But the thing which I have talking you comes under the category of Python automation.
Okay.
Web scraping comes under automation. So whenever we need to automate, so now let's example, a tour and travel company, a small tour and travel company makes a application in which whenever the company is giving any of the offer, it clicks a button and automatically it will find the number of companies which are offering that trip and their prices as well. Example. So now see, there's a very hairline difference when it comes to fetching the document. It comes under automation. Getting the thing, if Sri Lanka is mentioned over there, it again comes into automation. But when it comes to finding the price, the price can be written anywhere in the document. Either it is written price is this, or say go to Sri Lanka and pay price is written in the third document, and the word price is not mentioned. It says 1 lakh per pax. Price is not mentioned. In case it is mentioned, go to Sri Lanka as low as 1 lakh. Let's example. So everywhere the way of writing is different. If you want to fetch the price, you cannot find the price with the help of regular expressions, because regular expressions will fail here, because regular expressions will work on a certain format. Now you will say, in case you're working with a regular expression, you will say anything that is mentioned after price, just take this out. But the examples which I have taken, it clearly says that the price is not mentioned in the document. Are you with me? Are you with me,
Yes, sir.
guys? Yeah, the price is not mentioned in the document. If the price is not mentioned, then how will you fetch it out? So here the natural language processing, AI, and the things will come into consideration. With the help of regex, you can do that. You say wherever digits are mentioned, it will fetch it out. But let's example, somebody has written the price as low as ONE1 LAKH RUPWS. Then nobody in this word would be able to find with the help of regular expressions. But NLTK still has the capability to find. Okay. So this is a hairline difference. How this NLTK can be embedded with the automation to improve its accuracy, or how this regex can be embedded with NLTK to improve its accuracy. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Now this is the important concept. So the next regex is basically, I can take an example. There's no limit to it, but I'll say
Sir, I have a question.
yeah.
Sir, we do sentimental analysis on text data, right?
Uh-huh.
Like from web scraping only we do sentimental analysis.
No. These are different things. So let's example, if I'll say that you need to make pizza, let's say. So first, what you will do, you will go to shop, you will buy vegetables, you will buy a pizza base. So this doesn't mean that you can only make pizza from that shop only. No, that shop is just a medium to buy the things. If not that shop, then any other shop. So the thing is, when you're working on sentiment analysis, it focuses on whatever text you provide, it will find the sentiment out. In our NLP, we will do one of the project on sentiment analysis. I'll tell you how it works. The thing is, web scraping is different. Web scraping is scraping over the internet and getting the text to your system is web scraping. But sentiment analysis is finding sentiments out of it. So one is getting a bat and a ball. Second is playing with it. Both are the different things. If I'll say a person plays very good cricket, then from where he has bought this bat and ball won't be of any relevance. These two are the different things. Am I right?
Okay, sir. Okay, understood.
So now the next is so this so string or I'll say char or whatever you can say. This is provided token. Can be anything. Now I'll say let's example I use this. Now I'll say okay. It has splitted the two strings basis this. You guys with me?
So where did India go?
Yes.
Hmm?
Where did the word India go? It just replaced it with the comma.
Yeah, so it is basically it means bifurcating the sentence on the
Okay.
basis of the token that we have been passing.
Okay. So what if we write I love India because I'm an Indian.
What do you want me to write?
Because
Okay.
I'm an Indian. The same thing, just write because I'm an Indian.
Yeah.
So
So
how
it will again use it will use the first thing. First, I am an see both the
So
Indias
this
it is.
so this also can be applied for search and find all as well, no sir?
Yeah. Yeah. So as I said, these are the things that are used in combination of each other. So this is only a workaround. So if I'll say the word A, B, C, D, you can make any number of things out of it, any number of combinations. So with this as well, RE, this entire RE is basically a workaround. So you can use this RE dot split within RE dot match, within RE dot find. Basis the number of combinations that you can make. With me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'll say another is sorry. So if I'll say RE dot sub. So you see first what is the text you want to find and what is the text you want to replace in the text. I'll say India with capital India selection. And here the word is this only. Let's see. Let's see. It has replaced. You guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there we have n number of things. So if I'll start working on it, this will be a big thing to basically discuss. So even I can't cover all these things in detail because there is no end to it. So the thing is, what you need to do, you need to find n number of things. You need to do some tuning and a number of things which you can do. But the most important part is that this RE, like just remember this RE, and whenever you try to search any of the thing, you will get it on internet regarding RE. So let me tell you about something about say NLP, and I'll tell you something about the machine learning as well. So because tomorrow onwards, the machine learning is a core thing that will be starting for all. So how many of you know what is machine learning? You can either raise your hand or you can just like speak
So,
as well.
so very, I know very little bit about it. Like an overview.
Okay. Okay. If I'll say how many of you don't know what is machine learning, you can just raise your hands. I'll count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people don't know what is machine learning. Okay. How many of you know only little bit about machine? Just raise your hands. So the people who said initially yes, okay. 10 people, okay. Only know a bit. Okay. So there are around 15, 16 people who actually need understanding of machine learning. So let me tell you what is machine learning, and tomorrow onwards we will be moving towards the machine learning, and we will having some more participants, I guess, in the class. So when I say, and to these major of the participants, I have covered what is machine learning. So let me tell you what is machine learning. So machine learning is nothing but a capability that we give to the system to learn. So let's example. So the example which I always take. Let's example. How many of you have? How many of you like playing with the kids? So let's example. You say yes. Major of you will say yes. So I'll take an example of a kid only. So if a kid is only say 1 year old, and you will ask him to jump from a staircase, from a 5 staircase, from 5 stairs staircase, then the kid will jump because the kid does not know the repercussions out of it. He doesn't know that he will fall down and he will get hurt. Why? Because he has not experienced this thing in past. Okay. Now if you'll say a 5-year, 8-year-old kid jump from 5th or 6th staircase, he won't. He will say no, I'll get hurt. Why? Because with his experience, he has learned that if he will jump from that much height, he will get hurt. So same happens with the machine. So when we say machine learning, with the help of historical data, we give the capability to the machine to learn. So let's example, I have a hospital in which every time the patient comes, what we do, we ask the patient. So the hospital that we have is basically a hospital in which we detect whether a person is suffering from cancer or not suffering from cancer, whether the person is benign or malignant. Benign is non-cancerous, malignant is cancerous. the tumor within the body of a person, is it benign or a malignant, a cancerous or a non-cancerous tumor. So when a person comes, doctor asks that particular patient to get himself tested with the help of say 20 parameters. In this 20 parameters, doctor sees the report, the CT scan report, the MRI report, and number of reports the doctor sees, and write down some of the elements of these reports. Say the doctor writes what is the length of the tumor, what is the depth of the tumor, what is the size that is growing for that tumor, and a number of things the doctor writes, and doctor identifies whether it's a cancer or it's not a cancer. Now let's example, I have this data that has been made from last 10-15 years. We have a very renowned hospital. So every time the patient comes, we maintain the list of variables that I've been just telling you. So and what doctor has suggested, whether it's a cancerous, the tumor is cancerous or non-cancerous. So we have a repository of 20 lakh rows from last 20 years, or say 10 lakh rows, 5 lakh rows, whatever you see. So now what is this? This is the historical data, where we have the inputs that came from the machine, which has been written into a Excel kind of a format, and whatever the doctor has suggested, whether it's a cancerous or non-cancerous. Now let's example, one of the day the doctor is not available, and I will ask the machine to learn the pattern in the data. If the length is this, if the breadth is this, if the reoccurrence is this, or whatever the parameters are, then the tumor is cancerous or non-cancerous. Now I have given the machine the training on these 1 lakh data sets, 1 lakh rows. Now whenever the new patient comes, the machine has a capability. Now machine has learned basis this 5 lakh, 1 lakh observations, and whenever the new patient comes, machine will predict the probability of cancer or not cancer basis the historical data. So this is just an example of machine learning. Machine has a capability to learn from the historical data and to predict on the new data where we don't have the outcome. So machine will predict the outcome. So are you guys with me till now? The people who don't know what is machine learning, this is just an example for them.
Sir, come again. It's better.
So now the example which I have taken is, I have a historical data, 1 lakh rows, 2 lakh rows, which has input parameters that came from reports and output parameters which the doctor has diagnosed whether a person is cancerous or not cancerous. Now the thing is, instead of doctor diagnosing it, we are employing a machine. Now what machine is doing is, machine is learning on the basis of this 1 lakh examples that if these are the 10 input variables, then the output variable is cancerous or non-cancerous. Now whenever a new person is coming and I am providing these 10 input parameters to the machine, basis the historical learning on this 1 lakh data sets, machine has a capability to predict whether the new patient is cancerous or non-cancerous. So this is an example of machine. Are you with me?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
So when I say machine learning has been divided into two parts. One is supervised learning and second is unsupervised learning. When we say supervised learning, it means we have the variables, the input variables, and the variables that needs to be predicted in the historical data. Now the example which I have taken, in this we have the input variables like the length of the tumor, the breadth of the tumor, the height, the depth, whenever, and whether the person is cancerous or not. So what is the thing I have? I have the input variables and the output variables both. So this problem, whenever we have the input variables and the values that needs to be predicted, is already available in the historical data with the help of which the machine is learning. then this problem is known as supervised learning. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Everybody?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, yeah. The second example I'll take is, now you go to grocery store. For example, you go to grocery store. You go to departmental store. Rather. In this departmental store, say let's say example, you go to 7-Eleven, you go to Spencer's, or you any of the grocery store which you normally go to. You go to the grocery store. Now, when you go to this grocery store, you took a packet of a bread in your bag. Then you took a packet of a butter. Then you took a glass in your bucket, whatever you like, you are picking. And in the similar way, say 20,000 customers are coming to the store and they're picking basis their choices. So that's the thing that normally happens. A person is picking sanitizer, second person is picking a shuttlecock, third person when it came he's picking a packet of a salt, a packet of say a pen, whatever it is. So now we don't know what is the independent variable, what is the dependent variable. Now let's example the third person comes, he picks a headphone. So what is the next item that particular customer will pick? We don't know. In the historical data, there is no independent dependent relationship that exists in the data. We don't know which variable is independent, which variables needs to be predicted. And a customer came who took banana into the bucket. So what is the next item that customer can pick? It can be a scissor, it can be a notebook, it can be a pen, anything. Because n number of customers are there and they have taken n number of things from the departmental store. So this is the problem that is known as unsupervised learning. When we don't have any data, historical data, where independent and dependent variables kind of a relationship is there. Are you guys with me?
The example of unsupervised learning.
The unsupervised learning example which I've just taken, you go to departmental store.
No, means like recommendation engine you said was an unsupervised learning.
Yeah, recommendation engine is unsupervised.
Okay.
So I'm giving the examples, but before that I'm just covering out the concepts. The people who don't know what is machine learning, I'll give you examples as well. Okay. Like I'll tell you the algorithms that are used in supervised, the algorithms that are used in unsupervised. So let me basically write it down. When I say supervised learning has been divided into two parts. One is regression and second is Are you guys with me? So whenever
Yes,
the
sir.
dependent variable that we have, yeah, is the variable that can be counted, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5.5, 8.5. then it is a regression problem. Whenever the dependent variable is categorical means say true, false, green, blue, red, or it can be rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, anything kind of this, then it is a classification problem. It's a supervised learning. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Naive Bayes. I don't
So I
know.
think that's naive-Bayes classifier. It comes under
Naive Bayes, yeah,
classification.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thing that comes in regression?
Logistic regression.
No, it is classification.
So multilinear regression.
It's same, linear regression, multilinear regression, it's same.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Okay.
So CNN.
Yeah, that's totally different. That comes into the like deep learning. I'll tell it later.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now I'll tell you. Here it also comes into an ensemble that is random forest that comes in both naive Bayes. It comes all four rather are part of classification and integration both. Neural network, support vector machine, dysentery, and random forest. So this random forest is like a dysentery, the advanced version of dysentery, which will tell you. So these are the classification tasks. Now here comes unsupervised learning. Here it comes market basket analysis. So here we have different algorithms that we use. One is a priori. Sorry. We used filtering. These are some of the examples. We have clustering. In clustering, we use different types.
Association.
This is the same only.
Okay.
Association rules. You can call it. Or a query. Spelling, I don't know.
So K means clustering. Clustering comes under clustering.
Yeah, hierarchical clustering.
Okay.
Hierarchical. So I'm no. I don't know the spelling.
HEIRARCHY.
HEIRARCHY. Is it right? No. HEIRARCH.
So it's HIERARCH.
HIERARCH.
ICAL. Yeah.
Thank you. Hierarchical.
Sabha, can you please mute yourself?
Scan. And many more. Okay. These are the things that are used for unsupervised learning. Okay, apart from this, we have many other algorithms that are
Sir, what is reinforcement learning?
yeah, I'm coming to that. So reinforcement learning is, let's say example, how many of you play online chess? Many of people will be playing, like many of you will play online chess. So think what normally happens is, so every time when you're playing chess with the computer, so let's example, you are playing on your system and I am playing on my system, and for first 2-3 moves we have been moving it together, the way I have been moving, the way you are moving. Now on the fourth move I change my move, and which is basically different from the move which you have made. Now the system will automatically change its move. Fifth move, it's again different, the system will be having a different move. So with every step the system is learning. So the every step is different. Okay, with me?
Yes, sir. Okay.
So this is known as reinforcement learning. So basically reinforcement learning is basically of two types. One is positive and second is negative. So in reinforcement learning we use a method that is known as Markov decision, and second is Q learning. With me? Now I'll tell you what is semi-supervised learning. So the thing is, whenever, let's example, you're working on any of the problem and it's unsupervised learning, you create a, it's basically any of the learning in which you create a dependent variable out of it using machine. Say let's example, you do clustering. So the clustering is getting so let's example, if I'll make a group out of the total students we have in the class, I make a group out of it, and the group that I make is basis their, say, age. Let's example, I group the people with 20 to 25 in a group, 25 to 30 in a group, 30 to 35 in a group. Let's example, these are the three groups which I have made, and I'll call these groups as freshers, intermediates, and experts. Let's example, I call these groups as freshers are the people who are 20 to 25 age, 25 to 30 I'll say intermediate, 30 to 35 I'll say expert. Let's example. Now what I have been doing, I've done, so this clustering is a unsupervised learning. But when I try to make a group out of these, and when the next person comes, I will predict whether this person will fall into which category. So this is a simple example which I have taken. So let's example, I make the group on the basis of their hobby. What the hobby of the people: sports, religion, music. When a new person comes, I ask him to describe himself. He describes, and system automatically predicts in which group it falls. So what I have done, I have made a unsupervised learning a supervised learning. This is known as semi-supervised. When we combine two algorithms and make it, or when we use an algorithm to make a unsupervised learning a supervised learning, this is known as semi-supervised learning. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Anybody any
Yes,
doubt
sir.
till now? Yeah.
Sir, semi-supervised learning, didn't understand, sir.
So when I say let's example, so the example which I have taken is, so let's example, I have I have been arranging a conference. I've been arranging an event in which what I actually want, I want the people of a similar interests would be sitting together. Okay. So now,
No.
before calling these people into the for the event, what I ask these people is just write 5 lines about them, and like before coming to the event, just give me 5 lines about them. A person has written, my name is Amrish Kumar. I like attending events and reading books. I like technology. Let's example. This is the first person written. Second person written, my name is Pradeep Singh. I I like sports. I am very fitness enthusiast, and another thing hidden. So now, basis their interests, I have made 5 tables. I have grouped 5 tables. First one table, I am allowing the people who are of same interest sitting together into these 5 tables. So now what is happening? I've been grouping the people on the basis of their uh, interests. So I read the text, I categorize this text whether this person will fall into sports, fitness, the book reading, religion, music, dance, whatever, and I made the group. So now let's example. So this was actually unsupervised learning. I called these people. I asked these people to write something about it, but I have fetched interest area basis the text which they have provided. So what I have done is, this was actually unsupervised learning, where we don't have the independent dependent variable, but I have made this as a supervised. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is known as semi-supervised. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anybody any doubt till now?
Sir, how to use Anaconda, which you
How to use?
to download? I have downloaded just Anaconda. How to use it? I don't know.
So you have downloaded it Anaconda on your system.
Yes, sir.
So wherever you have placed it, always place it in a C drive. Okay, it automatically comes into C drive. Now whenever you say here Jupyter or Spider, this should come. When you downloaded, just install it as well. Have you installed it as well?
Yes, sir. My screen. This is showing like register for free. Should I click on that?
No, not register. Yeah, you can register it as well, but after that it will say install.
I have installed there. Written install.
Your voice is not very low to me.
Sir, I have installed there, but I don't know what to do next.
Have you installed the Anaconda in your system?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you're typing, say, is it coming?
No, sir.
Okay.
Doing.
Oh, sorry. Just say download. Once this will be downloaded, it will give you to the option to install. So I don't know why it is not coming. Can anybody tell anything which they have faced while installing the Anaconda? So it says install Anaconda. So if you install it, say Windows, say use a 64-bit installer. You install it. So I will not do it. Will do it. It will execute the
Sir, in
exe.
Anaconda Navigator, it is asking to register. In Nucleus 8, you are asking?
Come again. Okay, it asking to register in Anaconda Navigator.
Yes. No,
Yeah,
no,
you
sir.
can.
I'm saying that while I was installing, it was asking me to register, so I didn't register. So I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
maybe she is also facing the same problem.
Yeah, so the registration is optional basically. You cannot register as, but you can register. It's not a problem. Then after that, it will okay. If you're typing, are you getting this prompt?
Sir, actually, I don't have a problem. Someone was having a problem. I was
Okay.
just trying to clarify.
Okay. So the one who has the problem, is she getting this navigator when she is typing?
I just it's showing to launch the spider. I just click on the launch button and
Now it's working.
now it's going on.
Yeah, it will go on and it will work. It takes time.
Okay, fine, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So tomorrow, guys, we will be starting with the machine learning. Okay, with the linear regression. And yeah,
Sir, what is data warehousing?
data warehousing is a different concept that comes under data engineering, in which we collect all the data and we store it, and that is known as data warehousing. It can be in different formats, different types, but that doesn't come under the data science.
Okay.
Data warehousing, data lake are the different concepts.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any doubt? Okay, guys, if we don't have the doubt, then I'll save this. This will be available on your portal, and we'll meet tomorrow at 8:30 with a fresh and a new thing, that is machine learning. Okay, guys.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, guys, good night. We'll meet tomorrow at 8:30 with machine learning.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night, sir.